From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Dulanjali Ananda.
A very good evening to you indeed. I am Shehara Hera. Now let's first have a look at the headlines for tonight.
A decision on whether to issue summons or not on the arrest of 12 persons including Ravi Karunanayake on the 6th of this month. The Sajid faction boycotts the UNP Working Committee. Meddling of the intermediaries at the Dambulla market halted, causing reduction in vegetable prices. Measures to turn leprosy hospital in Handala into a quarantine centre. It has been reported that 2 infants die daily due to birth defects.
And now moving on to sports news in detail. The 2020 Air Force Cycling Tour will commence in front of the Colombo Air Force headquarters tomorrow. The Rupavahini channel will telecast a live commentary on the event starting at 8 a.m. The 3-day tour will be conducted across Colombo, Kandy, Trincomalee and will end in Anuradhapura. 20 teams will compete in the men's event and 7 teams in the women's event.
For those and other stories in detail on your top story. Former magistrate Thilina Gamage says that action has been taken against him for not delivering verdicts in several cases, including abduction of 11 persons, according to the preferences of a group of previous government of good governance. He was giving evidence today before a presidential commission investigating into acts of political revenge alleged to have taken place during the previous regime. Thilina Gamage further said that it was due to this reason that a case has been filed against him regarding keeping in possession an elephant based on illogical data. Former magistrate Thilina Gamage has testified before the Presidential Commission for the second time today. He added that no acceptable evidence of any level has been presented in filing a court case against him. It has also been pointed out that officials of the Criminal Investigating Department have created numerous influences on the original owner of the elephant in order to obtain a statement against him. It has also been revealed that the relevant person has presented facts through an affidavit. The former magistrate also said that officials of the Department of Attorney General have gone beyond their limits to suspend his duties, making use of the incident. At this occasion, the justice, who is the chairman of the Presidential Commission, has inquired him on which basis he is presenting facts on political victimization. Thilina Gamage has responded saying that several verdicts he has delivered in the capacity of Chief Magistrate Colombo during the initial period of the government of good governance has contributed to such a state of events. He also said that one of the main reasons for those of the good governance government becoming infuriated was the case against the abduction of 11 persons. He also said that it has become clear to him of how groups of foreign countries and non-governmental organizations causing an impact on the investigations. Thilina Gamage further said that he has witnessed in the courts how even Nishant De Silva of the CID, who was involved in investigations, acting in close collaboration with these advisories. The former magistrate further told the Commission that he has rejected the request of the CID to arrest Navy officials regarding the abduction of 11 persons as acceptable evidence was not received. A High Commissioner of a foreign country had also given instructions in this connection. He added that he had rejected these instructions in open court. A lengthy revelation of facts pertaining to a fraud on coal by a former chief minister has also taken place. The former magistrate has further disclosed that another reason for the good governance government going against him was a case on a child connected to former President Maithripala Sirisena during the presidential election period of 2015 and the case regarding abduction of a female minor by the younger son of former Minister Rajitha Senaratne. Opinions have also been expressed regarding the case against Tissa Tanaka over forged documentation. Thilina Gamage further said that a group that came to his official chamber had informed him then Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was intensely interested in the case. He has further recalled how MPs and ministers of the government of good governance had strongly criticized him in Parliament at this time of trial. He added that many false information were disseminated through media as well. The case regarding an elephant had come into the forefront due to the fact that a certain group in the government of good governance were dissatisfied over the verdicts of these cases. Tilina Gamage further told before the Presidential Commission that his parents had become civilly indisposed during the period and his father had died of a heart attack. He said that government of good governance should take the responsibility of the death.
Now, measures have been taken to place under quarantine all passengers arriving in Sri Lanka from countries such as Iran, South Korea and Italy, where coronavirus is reported to be spreading rapidly. The Ministry of Health says that leprosy hospital in Handala has been turned into the first quarantine center. The decision has been taken by the National Defence Action Committee on the coronavirus, which met yesterday, presided over by Minister Pavitra Wanyarachchi. It has also been decided to place under quarantine for 14 days all passengers arriving from Iran, South Korea and Italy. The Handala Leprosy Hospital has been selected as a quarantine center due to its close proximity to the airport and spacious facilities available at the venue. A building is not in the use in the hospital premises that has been used for the center. The renovations are being carried out by the Sri Lanka Army. Director General of Health Services Specialist Physician Dr. Anil Jasinghe stated that all necessary facilities for those subjected to quarantine are located in the hospital premises. Director General of Health Services Specialist Physician Dr. Anil Jasinghe stated that only those who have not been infected are being in quarantine. The afflicted persons will be hospitalized. He further stated that the COVID-19 virus would remain in the body only for 14 days. After this period, no disease symptoms could be seen. There is a threat of the inclusion of the coronavirus into the country if there is no quarantine process.
Director General of Health Services, Ministry of Health, Dr. Anil Jasinghe says that disembarkation of those who arrive on passenger ships to Sri Lanka has been suspended to avoid the risks posed by the rapid spread of the COVID-19. Dr. Jasinghe said that a decision has been reached by the National Action Committee on Coronavirus to quarantine all passengers, both locals and foreigners, arriving in the country from Italy, South Korea and Iran for 14 days.
Aware the situation with regard to COVID-19 has gone bad to us in relation to certain countries. In Sri Lanka, we in the Ministry of Health, especially the epidemiology unit, prepares a risk assessment tool with regard to COVID-19. We have taken two major decisions. One is to suspend disembarkation of those passengers in the ports of Sri Lanka. This decision was taken considering the fact that passengers in cruises are from very many countries and then they sail for months and they dock in many ports, and average age of these passengers are generally 50 or over 50 years. They are more vulnerable to the COVID-19. So therefore, considering those factors and considering the fact that many ports have taken this decision, we suspended disembarkment of passengers. This decision is taken based on the powers vested to Director General of Health Services under the Quarantine and Disease Prevention Ordinance. And of course, this case we haven't prohibited cruise ships coming into our ports. They can dock, but then only the disembarkment is prohibited. So therefore, they can do the servicing part, refueling or whatever that they are required to do. So therefore, this is a temporary suspension and we will lift this suspension based on the future development. The second decision that the National Committee on Coronavirus took was to impose quarantine for 14 days on passengers whose the country of origin is either Iran or South Korea or Italy. So whether they come direct or through transit, they will be put on quarantine in a designated quarantine center for a period of 14 days. This is taking into the risk assessment of the situation.
And now, the novel coronavirus has killed 3,200 people. The vast majority of these deaths are from mainland China. There are now over 92,000 global cases with infections in more than 80 countries and territories. Meanwhile, the US Federal Reserve slashed interest rates by half as a percentage point today in response to the coronavirus. The coronavirus COVID-19 has affected 82 countries and territories around the world and 1 international conveyance at present. However, more than 50,000 people have recovered from the disease globally. The total death toll in China has increased up to 2,981, while 80,282 confirmed cases have been reported. Friday prayers in Iran have been cancelled across the provincial capitals amidst the country's growing coronavirus outbreak. Iran's health ministry stated that coronavirus has killed 92 people, up from 77 the day before, while the number of infections rose to 2,922. Total death toll in South Korea has reached 35 with over 5,500 confirmed cases thus far. A group of 17 Italian tourists taken into quarantine facility in New Delhi have been tested positive for the coronavirus. India has confirmed 28 cases of the coronavirus as of today. The Italian government has decided to close schools and universities across the country until mid-March in a further attempt to contain the worst coronavirus outbreak in Europe. The total death toll in Italy has reached 79, while more than 2,500 have been affected. The number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Germany increased to 240. Meanwhile, Poland has confirmed its first coronavirus infection.
Countries worldwide are preparing for the possibility of public health emergencies related to the novel coronavirus, as the World Health Organization warned a shortage of protective equipment is hampering the response to the outbreak. Meanwhile, the World Bank has pledged to extend $12 billion to more than 60 countries affected by the virus.
The World Health Organization warned on Tuesday of a global shortage of protective equipment and price hikes because of the coronavirus. They've asked companies and governments to increase production by 40% as the death toll from the illness mounts.
But we're concerned that countries' abilities to respond are being compromised by the severe and increasing disruption to the global supply of personal protective equipment caused by rising demand, hoarding, and misuse. Shortages are leaving doctors, nurses, and other frontline health workers dangerously ill-equipped to care for COVID-19 patients.
The virus has spread across continents and reached about 80 different countries, with Ukraine and Chile the latest additions. So what about medical equipment? Iran, which has one of the highest death tolls outside of China, lacks supplies for its doctors and nurses. The worst outbreak outside of China is in South Korea, where President Moon Jae-in declared war on the virus and ordered additional hospital beds and masks. But this won't be cheap. The WHO said since the outbreak began, prices of surgical masks have increased sixfold, some respirators have tripled in cost, and protective gowns are now twice as expensive. In response, the World Bank announced $12 billion to help countries fight the virus, and the US Federal Reserve cut interest rates to try to prevent a global recession. As countries scramble for additional supplies and money, China, the epicenter of the outbreak, is looking towards treatment. Health authorities said on Wednesday that China will use a Roche arthritis drug to treat some coronavirus patients in severe conditions. The drug Actemra can be prescribed to coronavirus patients who show serious lung damage, and Roche says it may help contain inflammation. However, there is no clinical trial evidence that the drug will be effective, and China's National Medical Administration has not yet approved it to be sold for coronavirus infections.
And now moving on to local news. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed the relevant sectors to prepare a systematic program to control rising prices of coconut. The Office of the Prime Minister further says that attention has also been focused to provisionally withdraw present import restrictions on black gram and turmeric. The Prime Minister has given the relevant orders at a discussion at Temple Trees to evaluate prices of essential consumer items. It has also been decided at the discussion to provide coconut at concessionary prices to the consumers through coordination of the Kurunagala Plantation Company, the Chilau Plantation Company, the Coconut Cultivation Board and Satosa. An evaluation has also been made regarding canned fish, chicken and eggs. It has also been decided to withdraw the price control on local milk powder products and also to provide consumers milk powder at competitive prices. Attention was also focused on controlling vegetable prices through utilization of economic centers and Satosa. The Prime Minister has also informed the authorities to take stern action against middlemen who engage in creating a shortage of essential items through the price increases that burden the consumers.
Vegetable prices in the market are reported to be declining rapidly these days. Traders say that the decision taken by the Traders Association to completely halt the intermediary meddling of the trade at the Dambul Economic Centre and prohibition of sale of vegetables of less than 5 kilos. The Association of Traders of the Economic Centre says that the decision was taken according to the instructions of the President. It has been pointed out that middlemen have been engaged in the practice for a long period of purchasing vegetables and fruits being brought to the Dambul Economic Centre by farmers at a price determined by them. Thereafter, they were reported to have sold the output to traders coming from outstations at a higher price. The intermediary traders have shown greater interest on the items of short supply that are being received on daily basis and which have a higher demand among consumers. So-called Nadi traders have been able to exploit both the farmers and traders of Economic Centre and to earn an additional income not received by other groups.
And now the Fort Magistrates Court is scheduled to decide on the 6th of this month whether to issue warrants or not to arrest 12 persons, including former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake. A foreign travel ban has also been imposed against the 12 suspects. The Attorney General has informed the acting IGP last afternoon to issue summons without delay to arrest 12 persons, including former Minister Ravi Karunanayake, former Governor of the Central Bank Arjun Mahendran, and also Arjun Aloysius. Charges filed against them include conspiring on the irregularities committed in a bond transaction in March 2016, aiding and abetting the process of artificial escalation of market prices through false usage in a manner favorable to them.
The biggest exhibition of the year on technology and new innovations is scheduled to be held in Pitipana, Homagama on the 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th of this month. Minister Bandula Gunawardena has expressed opinion on the exhibition titled InnoTech 2020 at a media briefing at the Department of Information today. Many items including 1,200 creations of students of 400 schools, creations of students of higher education institutions and creations of innovators and state sector will be on display. Minister Bandula Gunawardena further said that the exhibition has been organized in an extent of around 300 acres of land, including the Mahinda Rajapaksa College, the Green University and the Nanotechnical Institute. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that at the end of the 4-day exhibition, the President will hand over a faculty of technology to the Sri Jayawardenepura University. He also said that the exhibition will be conducted throughout the country. All proceeds of these exhibitions will be credited to the Mahapala Fund.
And now measures have been taken to provide a 2-month leadership training for graduate employees. The Presidential Media Division says that the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government has by now presented letters of appointment to 45,585 graduates. Graduates who are being recruited should report to the relevant divisional secretaries to inform they are receiving letters of appointment. The divisional secretary is scheduled to assign the recruits on duties at rural service centres for urban remote service stations within the respective divisional secretariat division. All graduate appointees will be subject to a training period of 1 year. The first batch of trainees are scheduled to commence a 2-month leadership training at selected areas shortly. Minister Bandula Gunawardena has also expressed an opinion with this regard. Minister Bandula Gunawardena stated that there has been reports in media networks about the election commissioner suspending handing over appointments to graduates. He added that this was a completely false statement as the Commission has not made such a statement. The Minister further stated that the President has promised during the presidential election period that jobs will be provided to unemployed graduates. He further stated that the whole country knows that this was not a program to provide jobs to party activists who are politically aligned to them.
Sajith Premadasa faction has boycotted the United National Party Working Committee meeting today. General Secretary of the UNP, Akhila Viraj Karyavasam, said that the Working Committee has decided today to contest the forthcoming general election under the elephant symbol. Meanwhile, Sujiva Sena Singha said that Ranil Wickremesinghe should immediately halt the strategies to secure power. Former parliamentarian Sujiva Sena Singha said that the UNP has refused to hand over the post of secretary to Ranjit Madhuma Bandara. Finally, there has been an agreement to hand over the secretary position either to Ravi Karunanayake or Akhila Viraj Karyavasam. But he added that they were against the decision. He added that the party should not be betrayed to a group of greedy persons who wish to exploit the movement.
හම්බ කරන්න මේකෙන් හොරකම් කරන්න මේකෙන් පවුල් වගා කරගන්න මේ දේශපාලන රැකවරණය තියාගන්න මේ බලතල බෙදා ගන්න කෑදර පිරිසක් තසුළු පිරිසක් ඒ පිරිසට අපි මේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය දිගින් දිගටම පාවා දෙන්න ඉඩ තියන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක අපි කියන්නේ අද කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලයේදී
Former parliamentarian Akhila Viraj Karyavasam said that working committee has decided today to contest the general election under the elephant symbol. It has also been decided to sign an agreement of mutual understanding between the UNP and the Jatika Samagi Balavega. He added that a nomination council has also been appointed to face the poll. He also said that UNP granted approval to establish the Jatika Samagi Balavega as an alliance, but what has happened was it has been registered as a party. He also said that he has decided to resign from the post of General Secretary in order to find a solution to the problem. He added that he still remains as the General Secretary and informed the leaders of the need to go forward in unity.
And now on development news, plans are underway to commence a passenger boat service from Vallavatta to Battaramulla. The objective is to create an alternative solution to the traffic congestion. The passenger boat transportation service will get underway on the 11th of this month. It is being conducted by a private company affiliated to the Land Development Corporation. The boat service will be conducted on the canal that leads to Battaramulla to Vallavatta. A boat will be operated once in every 30 minutes during the period 6:50 to 9 a.m. from Vallavatta to Diyatawena in Battaramulla. A similar boat service will be operated from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and the journey could be completed in 25 minutes. And now, Chairman of the Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, says that applications for postal voting in the upcoming general election will take place from day after tomorrow till the 16th of this month. The chairman made these remarks at a meeting of the heads of media at the elections department this morning. It has also been pointed out at the meeting that an independent group has already filed deposits in the Vanni district. The election commissioner further stated that nominations will also be called for the national list.
Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka set to host the 20th Confederation of Asian and Pacific Accountants Conference in October this year. The announcement was made by the institute during the unveiling of the official CAPA conference website yesterday. The website was launched at a ceremony held at the institute premises themed Heritage Many Businesses One Planet. The 20th CAPA conference will be held alongside CAS Sri Lanka's 41st National Conference. The CAPA conference will be inaugurated in Colombo on October 20th, 2020 and will conclude on 22nd October 2020 following the technical sessions of both the 41st National Conference and the CAPA conference. The two conferences are expected to attract over 2,000 100,000 local and foreign delegates, making it one of Sri Lanka's biggest accounting summits in the country. The CAPA conference set to boost Sri Lanka's image in the world map and as a hotspot tourist destination. The conference also expected to disseminate knowledge and debate on contemporary and emerging issues impacting the accounting profession. CAPA is strengthened with 33 national professional accountancy organizations operating in Asia and Pacific, with close to 2 million accountants across the region. The CAPA conference is held every 4 years and this year celebrates its 20th anniversary. Professor Viraj Disanayake of the Colombo University Medical Faculty says that 2 babies die every day in Sri Lanka due to birth defects. He added that such premature deaths could be avoided through education. He made these remarks on the occasion of the launching of the Colombo Declaration on Treatment and Prevention of Birth Defects today. In Sri Lanka, between 5,800 and 6,000 childbirths take place annually. There were around 16 childbirths with defects. Annually, around 600 to 700 infants die due to birth defects. Statistics say that there are more than 2 million persons with birth defects. A major reason for birth defects is the shortcomings in genes and deformities, as well as not receiving necessary nutrients. Professor Viraj Disanayake further said that the government health divisions and the entire society are entrusted with the responsibility of providing the optimum living conditions for persons with birth defects.
And now with that, we conclude tonight's news live on Channel 9. Do join us tomorrow at the very same time.
Good night.